What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here for another episode of Rebels with a Cause. You know what time it is, baby. It is Wednesday night. It's time for that cause because the cause don't stop when the clock hits zero. Got a fun, action-packed short show tonight. Got stuff going on and everything. Lots to talk about, and I want to get to it. Hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know I did, and I hope you guys did too. Want to give a shout out to all the subscribers, everybody that hits that like and subscribe button and shares the show and gets that cause message out there. It's pretty awesome, man. It's pretty awesome, and we couldn't do this without you. We're going to be bringing you some big things coming up in the next year, and just because things haven't gone the way we wanted them to. We really wanted to be in Chattanooga, going live right outside the stadium, and my dream was obviously to bring back that gold third ball and have it right on the set as we set up live at midnight from West High School. That would have been an awesome dream, and I was going to make that happen with every inch and soul in my body for that to go on. But we just came up short. But shout out to the teams that have made it to their respective championships. I hope they have a fantastic next 3 days down there in Chattanooga. Clean football, good football, nobody getting hurt, and let the team settle it on the field of who is deemed worthy to call themselves champs of the 2024 season. But that being said, phenomenal run by the West Rebels, and just being in the conversation as close as you could. Elite in every sense of the word. That being said, though, do want to get some housekeeping done. The views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organization or of West High School. These are solely the RWAC's views and opinions. Myself, the Italian Stallion, two-pair Tate, Brian Tate, the coach and stats man himself, Mr. Shane O'Mac. So, like I said, definitely just keep that in mind when you watch and view the shows, whether you're watching live or recorded. Also, please do not be a stranger in that chat box live. Please point out when we've inaccurately said something, or, also voice your opinions. We definitely love to hear from you. We love the chat box when it's hopping. So definitely get it out there. Talk about what you want to talk about, and we'll definitely address it. Also want to give some love to some sponsors here. First and foremost, our guy Alex Thatcher and his Knoxville Coffee Company, a class of 2003 grad. Want to give him a shout out there. The best brew made with a lot of love there in the heart of Marble City off of Sutherland Avenue. Go pay him a visit. That brew is good any time of the day. Take my word for it. Also want to give a shout out to King's Chamber, Miss Kim Castle and Rachel Davis. They took care of the Stallion today before the show like they do all the time, and they'll take care of you. You let them know that Rebels with a Cause sent you. They'll take $20 off of all the services they offer. Shaves, haircuts, massages, waxes, pedicures, manicures. Go pay them a visit. 2 tasty beverages included with the price. So let them know Rebels with a Cause sent you, and they will definitely give you that royal treatment. Also want to give some love to our guy on the show, Mr. Shane O'Mac. He's still doing some freelance electrical needs for you. So if you've got a problem coming up, it's wintertime, you cannot have things be messing around when it comes to electrical and Christmas decorations and things of that nature. Definitely hit him up. I'm sure he will get you taken care of so you don't miss a beat if anything bad happens on that front. And it is the holidays. It is the season, and things happen. So want to be prepared. You're my guy Shane here. He'll make sure you get taken care of. So definitely hit him up. And also got to give some love to my guy, Mr. Two-Pair Tate's Big Facts Sports Network. Follow him at 332 Studios. Show him some love. He's building his brand separately there. Guy's been building his brand for years. So show him some love there. Give him the support. He will definitely be entertaining you. That being said, let's bring on these co-hosts and let's get this show rocking and rolling. Again, remember, hit that like and subscribe button. Punch it for the Italian Stallion. And also, get the message out there, guys. If you haven't seen it, share it with somebody. Tell them all about the show. It's nothing but love here. And, we just love having a good time here. Rebels with a Cause. So first and foremost, let me bring on my first co-host. He is and will always be known as Mr. 2003 West. He is now in full swing of his 19th, count that, 19, almost a generation, as the voice of the running Rebels and the Lady Rebels. 19 years, baby. And now Also calling the Lady Panthers and Panthers of Pellissippi State basketball. So, guys, just amazing. He's my brother, my favorite Seminole. Give him some love, whether you're watching live or recorded. The one, the only, two-pair Tate, Brian Tate. What is up, baby?
What's
Rocking that
good with
Miami
you, man?
Heat, baby. Rocking that
You
heat.
know it, man. You know it. Even though I'm disappointed of how the cup is going, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little disappointed with the NBA Cup. The end season crap.
It's true.
Pretty horrible.
Yeah, it is. So.
But I'm loving the way I'm loving the way West has been playing. Like just been announcing these games and the way Pellissippi State is playing. Pellissippi State will actually be back home this Saturday, so I will be doing that game coming up this Saturday.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's get our other guy on here because I know he's got a lot to say. We got a lot to talk about tonight.
We do, man. We got a lot to talk about.
I already gave him a plug, but honestly, if you need your electrical needs met, this is the guy to call. We love him. He's been our stats guy, been a part of this show for almost as long as us. He kind of came on a couple months afterwards, and we'll celebrate his year on the show when it's that time. But we love his contributions. He's our coach. He's our stats guy. He's our fellow West High grad brother, the one, the only, Mr. Shane O'Mac. Shane McGee, how is it, brother?
What's up, fellas? What's up?
What is up?
Long day, but always my favorite time of the week when we all get together. So.
You can't say a more truer statement than that because there's times when I'm at work like tonight late, and it's just like, you know what? I got my pick-me-up. I'm going to see my boys. We're going to talk sports, whether it's West, college, whatever anybody wants to talk about in that chat box. I see you two people out there. Don't be afraid to chime in and say something on that chat box. I see you guys. And I love all our subscribers. I love anybody that supports us.
One might be my son.
I'll take it. So you bet. So, but guys, we got a lot to talk about, and we're going to have a short show because I know we got a lot of stuff going on. First and foremost, real quick, I hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I know I ate too much. I even got a little sick because I ate too much. I mean, 3 Thanksgivings is a lot, but I will tell you this. At the 3 Thanksgivings I went to, nothing was worse than that garbage I sent you guys of that horrendous mac and cheese by those 2 women. They should be in prison for making that garbage. What was that?
Now, let me say this. Let me say this. If you are doing Thanksgiving, please do not make running macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese is meant to be baked.
Yeah. And you guys saw the bake that I made. So.
I saw the bake she made. It was you definitely been hanging with the brothers. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you.
Come on now. This fat boy knows how to cook. Come on now.
Man, like I was telling my sister, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my girl. We went to their Friendsgiving and there was no Bunsen burners. So everybody
it was cold.
Oh,
that's a party foul right there. You got to have the Bunsen burners. They're at Sam's Club right there.
You got to get the Bunsen burners. So I told her dad, I was like, we got to get Bunsen burners next year because, the only thing that was really hot. So my girl made an incredible pot roast.
Nice.
And her brother made a peach cobbler, and that was the only thing that was hot.
Everything else was damn cold. There's nothing worse than cold food, man. And then you don't want to nuke it. It loses something in the microwave. You want it hot out of the stove or oven.
Exactly.
I mean, Shane, you cooked the storm up the Thanksgiving last year. I know this year was a little bit different story, but what did you do for Thanksgiving, brother?
Thanksgiving this year, actually, I didn't really do anything since it was my ex's family's turn to have the kids. I literally stayed home.
Oh, man.
But I get Christmas, so I'll go out on Christmas Eve like I do every year because that's what me and my kids, we got a tradition. Christmas Eve, we all open one gift. We'll watch movies all night. We'll finish the movie. It's a Wonderful Life. It's like one of my
classic
tradition. There you go.
Classic.
If that happens again, you come over and eat with me, man. We had plenty of damn food, so.
So even years I don't have my girls are. After this will be my last Christmas with all 3 together because I'll be adults. Well, my girls will be adults. My middle one turns 18 in February. So
Congrats.
Going to be graduating in May or June. Coming up, right? Whenever the graduations are. So yeah,
Big congrats,
big
Shane.
congrats to her. So.
She's actually moving out on her own before she graduates.
Wow,
I can remember when they were so young, man. It's wild.
it's crazy, dude. This is.
I remember going to the mall and BTUB over at Foot Locker, and my girls would be right there in tow with me, and they were maybe at my hip. Now we're all.
Wow. I'm telling it goes by fast, and then these holidays are going to go by fast, and we're going to be in the new year. The one good thing that we can at least say is that there's a lot still to talk about, a lot of sports going on right now, and first and foremost, we want to wrap up football a little bit. Want to give a shout out to our guys that were invited to the All-Star game that's going to be played on December 14th there at Maryville High School. Shout out to Wyatt DeRoche, Stephen Johnson Jr., Antoine Burdine Jr., and Terrius McAllister and Detroit Patterson. Going to be representing the W and the West Rebels. Show out, guys. Show out, and definitely leave it on the field. The fact that you get one more game in those beautiful uniforms representing, at least your helmets, rather. I mean, that's what it's all about, baby. So shout out to you guys, and once again, for the third straight year or fourth straight year that we've had this thing, West has had multiple people not only be invited to it, but actually show up and play in it. So that's just a tribute to the talent we have on our roster, honestly. Going up against the best of East Tennessee, yeah, for sure.
I really think that's so awesome that they got selected. Like, those group of guys were really the difference makers every game this year for West. You heard those names being called every time. Kudos to those young men. I've called Antoine Burdine the best player in the country every time. And Terrius McAllister was phenomenal in the open field. Detroit Patterson gave us the big play effect, and when there was a big play, he would make it. Stephen Johnson Jr. was a stalwart on that offensive line, a true leader, a guy that paved the way for so many talented running backs this year. When you look at the way he was manipulating that line at the guard position, this really was a stalwart. And you don't have Stephen Johnson, you don't win against Anderson County, you don't beat Halls, you don't beat Davy Crockett. A lot of those big wins.
Sorry, Powell. Yeah, Powell. The moving that big defensive line, and credit to him, he moved from left guard to right guard when they made that switch to really get the offensive line going. I mean, that was just amazing that he could pick that up, and the line even got better. The
line got better, the team got better.
Yeah.
Wyatt. I mean, what more can you say about Wyatt DeRoche? We've
one man wrecking.
Wyatt was the difference maker his junior year. He was a difference maker his senior year. Just really the leader of that defense. Him and Jack Keefe anchored a very strong West defense this year. Yeah. I am really surprised at how good this football team was. Like, we saw the journey from spring to summer to the fall. Like, there were some games where we were, we got worried sometimes, where it's like, are we as good as we think we are? Or I think the Anderson County game was probably the turning point of the season. And it turned the entire season around.
Yeah, and Shane, and I want you to chime in on this too. Obviously, hindsight is always 20/20, but we knew whoever was going to win that West Sevier County game was going to be in the championship game. We had been saying that even when the matchups were announced, the playoffs were announced. And now you've got Sevier County, who is 14-0, taking on 14-0 Page, who looks like they've been on a mission all year. And, to kind of jump into that, that's going to be the 5A championship game Friday night in Chattanooga. And, you've got number 1 versus number 2, both undefeated, a high-powered offense against a defense that looks like it does not give much up. And usually they say defense wins championships. But in your opinion, is Page going to finish their Cinderella story and finally get this championship, or are they going to be the Buffalo Bills that they've been kind of referred to in high school football? I mean, to lose, if I mean, it would be like the Bills. It would, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, that's a tough one. I would like to see Paige win it because you've made it there so many times over the past couple of years. Like stuff just you gotta get tired of bringing home the silver ball instead of the gold one. But I mean, Sevier County's story, 100 years of their program, 14-0.
They're kind of a team of destiny. I hate to say it, but I don't know. I mean, that's why they play the games.
I so wish we had another crack at that game, though.
Oh my
I
God.
really do.
I mean, guys,
I
think about this.
really do.
I mean,
It's just one of those games you just want to have back.
I mean, think
I
about
want to have
this.
it back for those seniors.
Oh, me
That's the
too.
thing. I want to have it back for those seniors.
And the coaches, because they put so much
Mm-hmm.
work into it. And if you think about this, I mean, guys, I had talked to that restaurant across the street. It's kind of a bar or what have you. And like literally, they were cool with us setting up in the patio, which is literally across the street. And we would have had a live show before the game there, with the stadium in the background. And then my thought was, if we go on ahead and get it taken care of and win the third gold ball, we book it back to Knoxville, set up at West High Stadium, and they bring that trophy live when we're on the show and so forth like that, and get to
That would
put
be
it on the
dope.
table. That would have been
dope.
amazing, I mean, that
That'd
would have
been
been
so dope.
that would have been the dream. And you know what though?
Dope.
It's going to happen next year. I am willing it into existence that is what's going to happen next year. So, yep, I'm willing it into existence.
I think it could happen.
Absolutely.
I think Paige wins it though.
Yeah.
I think as a staff and the players know what it means to get to that level. And you got to think by now they got a massive chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think deep down they wanted West? Do you think, I mean, like, yeah, they'll take a championship, but do you think they wanted that crack against West? Like, we've lost to them twice in two different
They wanted us or Pal is who they wanted. But I'm sure they'll take anybody from East Tennessee when we're all within a 45-minute drive, if that, of each other. But I think it would meant more to them to beat the team that has beat them back to back.
Yeah, because they were freshmen. They were freshmen when they lost to Powell. They were sophomores and juniors when they lost to West. Now you're playing a new kid on the block. And realistically, I hope that Page does learn something. Don't underestimate that Sevier County group, because they are opportunistic and they don't die, and they find ways to outlast teams.
Ways to win.
What Page needs to do, based off what I saw with us, is jam their receivers, get their timing off because they're going nickel and dime it the whole time. And then they'll look for that deep pass. If you can stop their short plays, but they were just doing little out routes, little hitches. I mean, it's all it was all night. Don't give them any cushion. Jam their receivers, throw off the quarterback's timing, and make sure your outside linebacker can flow with that tight end or running back who leaks out to the flats. You've got them. Yeah, that's their offense.
I just hope Coach Rathbone for Page, isn't in his own head again, because I feel that like he's had a very good talented teams. They've done what they've needed to get there, but he has really just not called smart football games of what he wanted to do. And realistically, if he starts doing that again, and the longer Sevier County hangs around, that's when you'll see it. Page needs to jump on them and put it to bed pretty early. The longer Sevier County hangs around, then that doubt is going to creep in Page's head. Here we go again. And those fans are going to know it. And how it's how the game is felt and how it's going and so forth. And then the other thing is this. I don't know what the weather's going to be like in Chattanooga. I know it's going to be cold as anything, but realistically, Sevier County's done very well with their passing game in the last couple of weeks, I feel, with the cold ball. They have. I mean, and they put up 40-something points on Oak Ridge, but their defense allowed a lot of points by Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge hadn't scored that many points in a while. So it kind of makes you wonder, is Sevier County's defense up to the task against what they're going to be facing against a ball-controlled, play-action pass offense like Page.
Mm. Yeah, I'm really interested in seeing that because I think that game can go a lot of different ways if Sevier County is not in their right mind frame. Because like let's say Page just controls that clock
Yep.
to the point where Sevier County doesn't get the ball enough possessions. Stuff like that I think can affect that game too. But Sevier County has played very well in cold weather games. Just the way they played against West, they were able to move the ball. They were able to get on the board first. It was a difference between 3 points, and West wasn't able to get a score in that first half. I think was a big difference in that second
Yes.
half, and it's one of those games you just want back because you felt like they left everything out there, but you felt like the better team got robbed.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Just
Well,
watching that highlight over and over is just
yeah, I mean,
sad.
that's the other thing. I mean, if the ball was dropped and it was an incomplete pass, I could live
Yeah.
with that, but we're always going to have that what if, we're always going to have that what if.
Mm,
And here's the thing. There's not a doubt in my mind that if you find a way to win that game despite how things didn't go your way, I think that you would have had a completely different refocused team against Oak Ridge. No disrespect to Oak Ridge. And I think that West would have probably won by a bigger margin than what Sevier County did. And you're now set up for the third fight between Page and West. I really believe that. So, but it wasn't meant to be, at this point. But I really believe West will be back next year, and we will definitely have a say of what happens in 5A for many years to come. That's we ain't going nowhere, and that's the one thing that I want more than anything. Shane, real quick on the other front, a couple of area teams kind of maybe missed an opportunity there. No disrespect to the two teams that actually won, but I really felt Anderson County and Maryville were on their way to Chattanooga. Maybe not necessarily to win gold, but definitely going to get at least a silver ball. And Oakland did their thing, but Macon County, shout out to Jamie Farley, graduate who's a fan of the show, Macon County grad. Macon County had fans there 2 hours before kickoff and
Shout out to
found a
Macon
way to beat
County.
I heard
Anderson
that. I heard
County.
that was crazy. I heard
Shout
it
out
It
to
was the
Macon
best
County.
atmosphere. I mean, good for them. Good for them. You know that, honestly. So, I mean, that I just that's amazing.
I was surprised. I was really surprised that Anderson County and Maryville are in Chattanooga this weekend.
Yeah.
Really, really shocking. But
Shane, do you think if that game had been played in Maryville, it would have been a different story? I'm not trying to say anything, but to win in Oakland, I mean, that even year, they get it, the odd year, it's almost like it was just the timing was off for poor Maryville this year, honestly.
I think had it been played at Maryville, it's a different outcome. I think the fans have a bigger input in that game because of how small, how close they are to the field. It changes a lot. Like, a lot of our schools around here, they got the track around, so you got that separation of 8 lanes. You're right there. I mean, it's a hostile environment out there. I've been out there. I've coached out there. I've played out there. Or I've watched games out there. It's crazy.
There's a reason they call it the black hole. There is, but they had to go to Oakland. And then here's the other thing. I was completely wrong with Ravenwood. I thought Ravenwood would be there. And Houston, the defending champs, beat Ravenwood and now have a right to go back to back themselves, two pair. I mean, and it's a rematch of Oakland and Houston from last year, where Houston walloped Oakland.
Yeah.
They walloped.
I remember that. I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that game. Was that game before the West, or was it after? I'm trying to remember.
It was the Saturday night game because the West game was Friday night. Yeah, 5A is the Friday night game, 6A is the Saturday night game. And the weather was horrendous. Yeah. It was raining cats and dogs. But here's the thing. Both teams played in it. Houston got it done when everybody thought it was only Oakland and only Oakland last year.
Everybody thought it was only Oakland last year.
Yeah,
Oakland had a really good team,
and they didn't.
They were going for that 4th straight, and we talked about that team's dominance on the course of the year. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be crazy how everything's going to play out. But I think West losing to Sevier County was kind of like the wake up call for the juniors
Hmm.
and the wake up call for the sophomores because those freshmen got a taste of it. They got like a taste of it.
Yeah.
And we got a really strong freshman class.
Hmm.
We
Exactly,
really
we do.
do.
Yeah, we've got a really good eighth grade group coming in as well. I mean, we've got realistically 140 something players, and obviously only 11 can play at a time. But the competition's going to be there, and I've always said iron sharpens iron. So and
Hmm.
and when you get a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, I'm going to be very interested to see that eye of the tiger back with this program. I am. Shane, like you, I'm going to pick Page, but can I just preference this? Page should win, but I would not be surprised if Sevier County finishes their Cinderella story.
Yeah.
Or does but I really believe the clock strikes 12 for them. I
I
really,
would love to see anytime a golf football comes back to East Tennessee is amazing. I'd
yeah,
love to see it. Page has earned the right at this point to get one.
yeah,
If we were playing, I'd be ready for the three-peat of them losing. But it is what it is. But like I said, they've earned the right. They know what it takes to be there. They've gotten there every time over the last 4 years. It's their time,
yeah.
hopefully. And giving the officiating that we had at our game, I want to see Sevier County get knocked out.
Yeah, I know. Can I say this, guys? Can I say this? And I'm going to will it into existence again because that's just me, the most hated guy in Knoxville. But I will say this much. We're going to be the Nebraska Cornhuskers 3-4. Just remember that. They won it in 94 against Miami. They crushed Florida in the Fiesta Bowl in 95, came up short in 96, 97 Scott Frost and all them rolled Tennessee, and they
You
won
can
3 out of 4. Just remember
you're
that.
comparing it to the Nebraska Cornhuskers,
Damn right. So
Cornhuskers,
here's the
Scott
slogan for
Frost.
next year, West. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. A little play off the Meatloaf song. 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4
Three out of
ain't
four
bad.
would not be bad.
Damn right. So yeah, yeah. And
I
that's
think they
gonna be
got a
the
shot
slogan.
though.
3 out of 4. Fuck yeah, man. Hell
Now,
yeah.
question:
Shoot. Yeah.
Is Messiah Wren a senior? He's a
He's a
junior.
junior. He's a junior. He's a junior.
He is a junior.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we lose Tavion. We do lose Tavion, but let me tell you something. You got some hungry guys in that backfield, like a Raheem Lee, Jamari Goins, Jack. I mean, those guys are going to be back and so forth. So
Mm.
you've got 4 running backs, and that's not even talking about who else could step up or transfer in or anything like that. You just never know.
I'm very high on Jack Harrison, man. I'm very high on Silas Monroe.
Oh,
Um,
Silas, yes,
I think
yes,
Silas Monroe is gonna have a really breakout year next year. I really like what he brings to the table.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna.
Really
I mean,
like
and you're gonna get some guys.
Is Abel
Yeah.
Ancelot a junior?
Yes, he is. So he's going to be anchoring
He'll be
both,
back.
the DBs and the wide receivers. You know, I like a guy like JP Peace to step up. JP
I
is going to
like
be,
JP Peace to
and
be
Sam Lavelle
really
coming
big.
back from the broken
Sam Lavelle.
collarbone. I mean, he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those guys are really going to be leading. And then you've got a great defensive line. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you've got a great defensive line that yes, you lose DeRoche and Leggett, but I'm going to tell you this: Sam Hudson came on at the end of the year, and I just hope to see that pick up where he left off because he was a straight up animal. And you got our guy Nalaja Dickey. I hope he gets in the weight room and gets just meaner out there.
And
We've
the
got
sack
some guys.
reaper, my man Dale.
Dale, give him hell,
Give him
Dale.
hell,
So,
Dale.
damn right. So,
Give
yeah.
him hell, Dale.
Absolutely. So kid plays with a lot of heart and motor, man. I'm telling you. So I'm looking forward to that group really stepping up, and then you're going to see some guys that I think are ready to really do their. They haven't really you hadn't seen them yet, but there were a lot of guys in the spring we hadn't seen before, and they made a name for themselves and definitely carried it on. So shout out to my guy Steven Johnson. I hope Page wins, but Sevier County can beat them. I agree 1,000%. I agree 1,000%.
Yeah,
That's why they
man.
play the games, man. That's why they play the games. One
And
game I did want to
shout out to
predict.
Steven Johnson's son, man, because
Oh
he
yeah, man.
like
Look at this.
he got like
Look at that.
that offensive line. If you don't have him, Deshaun Battle on that offensive line,
Coda Villa. Yeah.
Coda
Brody.
Villa, Hayden
Yeah.
Lee,
Yeah. You see,
really
like,
gonna miss him,
Hayden's
man.
going to be there next year. So is Mabane, and then
Really,
you've got Oliver back. I mean, so you've got guys that maybe they didn't start, but they got playing time,
I
and we'll
like
find an
Hayden Lee.
offensive line. We will. So,
Hayden the House Lee. He's
yep,
big. He's nasty. He's mean,
yep.
and he's got one of the best quotes from this team. We're gonna kick their ass, and then they went ahead and kicked Hall's ass
Oh
twice. That
yeah,
was crazy.
that game
No
was
disrespect to Halls, but
no. So
for a high school kid to say that, we couldn't post it, but
well, and I'm going to say this: that loss to Sevier County hurt, buddy. Devastating, brother.
still hurt.
Devastating. It still hurts, man.
Try
And
watching that. Try
that
watching the
replay.
highlight of it.
Yeah, I
The
mean, we
replay's the
won.
worst.
Yeah,
The
replay's the
amount how much
worst.
I saw possibly break after that game ended.
I mean, it was devastating. And then the snow falling. I mean, it was like something out of a movie or something like that. It was
It was
Friday Night
bad.
Lights esque, man. It really was. It was
You
leaving the
didn't want to
shoes by
lose
the.
that way at
Oh
home,
man,
though. Not
no,
at home.
no.
Don't take it from them at home like that.
Yeah, man.
The,
That one is. I don't
the,
know what's
only,
worse, the UT Arkansas loss or that loss, because that one, they're the same. Like
Can I tell you
right
this?
up
Can I
there.
tell you this? It's got to be this one because at least
Mm.
UT
It's
didn't
still
have to pay
playing.
for that. UT is still playing. So you know now if that happens to UT in the playoffs, then yeah, that would be devastating for
Oh, that'd
UT.
be
Yeah,
devastating.
horrible. So
the only highlight for me that night after that was my son ran into CJ's brother, and they used to play football together, so they were happy to see each other at the game.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Because
So,
his brother was a grade above Keegan, but I only played Keegan up for a couple of years, so I came back down and coached. So he was like, "Hey, coach!" Like he still calls me coach. And I haven't coached that kid since he was little. Like I'm talking like 6, 7 years old.
yeah, and that makes you feel good. So you
Yeah.
know, I mean,
He saw me. He's like, "Coach, where's Keegan at?" I was like, "Oh, he's right over there." And then yell for Keegan, like, "Hey, Keegan, Chase is over there." Next thing you know, they're chatting it up and reminiscing on old times and everything. So, like,
can I throw this out there? There's two more games I wanted to ask your guys' opinion on before we move on to the basketball team that's just absolutely kicking ass right now. But I did want to ask you guys this. Any thoughts? Does Westview have a chance to end the Alcoa Invitational, or does Alcoa go a perfect 10 for 10 and say goodbye to 3A at 11 o'clock Friday morning? Game's going to be on ABC, the only game not on the Knox. It's going to be on WATE.
Yeah,
Friday
they
morning.
deserve it for what they've done and what that program, like the excellence that they exude. They deserve it, and I don't think there's any question that the Eli's are not losing. They're not losing a chance to etch their name in the history of 10 in a row. They're not gonna miss
A
out on that.
decade of dominance.
I saw the picture of Eli Owens' commitment today. The entire Alcoa football team was on stage with him.
That's awesome.
Throwing up the M's, I guess, is
Yeah.
what they do there. But
Yeah.
I've known that kid since he was in 7th grade. Coach against him, scout against him. That kid is a baller. Michigan got a great player. He's going to be instant impact player for them. And proud of that kid. Very humble. So shout out to Eli. Local kid signed today. Playing for Major D1 football. So
I want to say something real quick about that because we are going to get to college football at the end of the show, but I will say this much. Michigan right now, if you're an Ohio State fan, Michigan is about to sign the best quarterback out of the country. I think they paid $2.5 billion NIL deal for him to flip him from LSU to Michigan or wherever he was going to go. Then you got a guy like Eli going there and the recruiting class that they are signing. And I'm thinking to myself, Ohio State, if this wasn't the year at home, when the hell's it going to be, man? I mean, that boy, what's that coach's name for Michigan, by the way, Tucker?
Ryan. Oh, Michigan.
Yeah,
You
for
talking
Michigan.
about Sharon Wright? I mean Sharon Moore.
He tramp stamped Ryan Day for the second straight year in a row, baby. The second, and with his players, not with Harbaugh, his players. He tramp stamped him, man. Tramp stamped him.
But I mean, he was the interim coach when he beat. Hasn't he? He's beaten He's beaten
Yeah,
Ryan Day 2 years in a row.
last year, because Harbaugh had to be suspended for that game. Yes,
All my Ohio State fans, their friends, they are already calling for a day to be gone because, as they say, they hate that team up north.
Well, the thing is, he's suffering from the John Cooper treatment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we might see that happen in these high school championships. Like, what if Paige doesn't? What if Paige loses 4 times, 3 times the West and 1 time the Sevier County?
Yeah, 2 times to West, 1 to Powell, 1 to Sevier County. Yeah, so of all 4 East Tennessee
Oh
teams.
my
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
yeah. Like,
With 3
I mean,
D1 commits, 2 pair, one of them's committed to Tennessee, signed today, I think, or whatever like that. So yeah,
that is,
the
yeah.
linebacker.
Like, and Page is a very good football program. They just haven't been able. They just haven't been able to put it all together.
They're the bridesmaid that hasn't been the bride, and let's see what happens Friday night. Honestly, at this point, so
Yeah.
yeah. Um, and real quick, the only other game I wanted to ask you guys' opinion of the Battle of Chattanooga. Private school Baylor, private school Macaulay. And here's the other thing, too. Baylor won the regular season matchup. And
Uh,
last year's game had 27,000 people at it. That's how big that game was, the Battle of Chattanooga. It's going to be tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on the Knox. Who wins, Baylor or Macaulay?
I like Baylor.
I think
I
Baylor
like Baylor.
finishes. I think Baylor gets their revenge this year because
I think
McCallie won
Baylor
it
does
last
it.
year. So yeah,
Yeah, I think Baylor does it. McCallie used to win that thing like Nebraska, though.
I've got a former player at Macaulay, so I'll go Macaulay.
yeah.
I will see one of my boys. I will see one of my boys get gold football. So yeah.
Yeah. No, it should be. Listen, like I said at the beginning of the show, shout out to the
football.
Here's the other thing too. Shout out to the 18 teams that are left in the 9 classifications: 6 public schools, three public classifications, or 3 private and 6 public. 18 teams total. 9 gold balls will be handed out, 9 silvers. So the only thing that I'm going to say is that, guys, leave it out there for you seniors. That's it. And for the underclassmen, you want to send your seniors out a winner and build for something for next year. So good luck to all of you, and leave it out there. And thank you for another phenomenal high school football season, regardless that we finished Elite Eight. But regardless, thank you to all the teams, players, and coaches for another entertaining damn year of high school football. So, 2 pair, going to transition now. Let's talk about these running Rebels basketball team, baby.
Dude,
What happened last night in West Arena, baby?
let me say this. This might be the deepest basketball team you will see in Knox County. They can go 12 to 14 to 15 guys deep. Right? Well, let me just say this. The starters got pulled in the third quarter. Like they didn't even finish out the third quarter. So that is a telltale sign. Reese Clark shot the ball incredibly last night. He was in such a good rhythm. Garrett Birch was in a good rhythm. Joe Dupree. I want to say it felt like they hit 17 threes. There was a 3-point shot. If you go to the box score on the West app,
Is it on the West app? Because I
it
couldn't see
should
it
be on the
last
West app.
night. They usually put it on Twitter, but I didn't see it on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. So yeah, I was trying to look it up just now.
Yeah, I want to say Reese was the high man. Garrett shot the ball really well, but the guys that have been really playing lights out, this bench is ridiculous because there's no pressure on those guys. Those dudes are playing the loose, like the most loose I've ever seen. And credit to Tommy and the coaching staff. Like Michael Dime Davis has these guards with their head up, not creating silly turnovers. Tyrone Patterson, you're seeing an evolution of Kevin Jack. the way he's slimmed down, he's quicker. His first step is amazing. And then, I mean, Devin Martin is playing as if he's the best player in Knox County. He really is. Like
And we've been saying that for how long, Tuper? A year now? I mean, over a year when he was a junior.
over here,
So yeah, I mean,
yeah,
come on
he's
now.
the best player in Knoxville. He's the best player in Knoxville.
What's up, Larry Frank? Look, what's up, my brother? How you doing from Louisiana, baby? Talking some
Yeah, man. Shout out to
basketball.
Larry
Shout out
Frank.
to Larry Frank, baby. Big fan of you talk, man. So
Heck yeah, shout out to Larry Frank. But now, I really like the way he's put Schuler. He's inserted one junior in the lineup with all seniors. He's bringing Birch and Dupree with the second unit with Kalu and Sanders. So I really like this because you're getting the best of David Sanders, who I don't think a lot of people realize he's only a sophomore and he's
this
coming
sophomore
off the
class,
bench.
this sophomore
This
class.
soft like Kalu Fofana is pushing for minutes. It's gonna get to the point we might see Kalu get a start. I don't know. I feel like he's putting in the work in practice because Kalu Fofana, the Prince of Zamunda, is here, and I said it a bunch of times last night against Karns. Karns is really young. They've got a talented freshman guard in William Summy, who I really want people to look at. It's funny because I coached his dad in AAU. I coached his dad, and now his son is at Karns getting buckets.
I know that last name. I can't think of how I know that last name.
William Summy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a freshman at Karns. Karns is really young. I want to say Tarshane played well for them. Ben Stiles played well. But the guy that's going to be the dude for a long time at Karns, William Summy, is going to be an 1,000-point scorer. Like they keep that kid at Karns because if we had him at West, trust you me, he's going to be a phenomenal player for them. They're just very, very young, man. Very young. They're
And
very
this
young.
team is very experienced. There's 8 seniors on this team. Come on.
Mm-hmm. And Jack Keefe.
Is he back? How do you do last
Jack
night?
Keefe looked great last night. You can tell, like, he's a floor general, and he leads that second unit so well. Like, that's why I said this second unit is going to be the reason why they should compete for state. You got the outside shooting of Dupree. You bring the outside shooting of Birch. Then you can run Kalu at the 2, Jack at the 1, Dave at the 5. That's how deep they are off that second unit. And
what is it? 11 deep? Is that what we're really looking at?
you go
11 deep or
11 to
12?
12. You got Jackson Cantanella, who's a junior, who can shoot. You got Liam Purnell, who's a freshman. We not even got to Sean Smith, DeMarcus Bullard. We've not even gotten to those guys out of the sophomore class. And that's why I said, like, they're that strong that the sophomores, the freshmen, they're going to get in more of the rotation if they're up by, you see the score, 87 to 43 is a running clock.
Look at that. What is the running clock in basketball? I know it's 30 in football.
35.
What is it? 35 in basketball. Wow.
35.
Okay. And they did that to Central too. They won by a big margin against Central last week, 2 weeks ago.
I really think
78-42.
So it was 36. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I really think Coach Eggleston he's relaxed. Like, it doesn't feel as if they are pressured or hurried. They look so calm and relaxed. And the approach of the defensive side, how they really get after it on defense.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they do.
Like, it just becomes a highlight reel. I mean, Devin Martin had like two bombastic dunks. in that game. I really like the way they're playing. They have it's early. I think tomorrow's going to be a big test. Catholic, Jawan Smith's going to bring in a heady ball club that's going to really get after it on the defensive side, and they're going to push the momentum. He's got some great assistant coaches. Greg Caldwell, who played at Carter, is one of his assistant coaches. So it's going to be really interesting to see what West team comes out because this is a big statement game. This is a big statement game for West tomorrow. Big
And a
statement
good
game.
test of what you might face from Nashville or Memphis if you get that far in the state championship. You got to take care of business on this side, and they will take care of business. I feel this team is on a mission. This team is going to be what the football team is next year, where you left something out there. This team left something last year, and I think that they've got, and I think they've got the coaching. I think they've got the staff. I think they've got the team to make this work, despite what else could have been a part of this team, two-pair, because we know it could have been even more crazy good talent on that team.
Yeah, and it's really sad because I need to reach out to him, and you know what I'm saying, just really won't keep him in our prayers. I haven't heard from him, and it felt like he just ghosts, like he vanished. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I hate that.
I hate
that.
I do
was
too.
looking forward to him
because I did see his father at the game, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him. And it's just like, man, if we had this guy, like another, like he's just,
or Carter's best player, who should still be at West, but we're not going to go there. So,
like, look how many guys. When you start looking at it, and then you look at, we didn't even get a full Dane Britton last year.
We didn't, and we're already kind of with a hobbled Birch. He's just taking care of it till he gets back. But
man, he looked good last night.
There you go. So look, he needed a week off or whatever. He's back. So there you go. So
he looked good last night.
And
like
Dupree,
Schuler, Birch, and Dupree. We got to get hoodies made.
We do. The
law
firm of three, baby. So, yeah. I'm gonna have to get my girl Kim Castle on that. Let's get some shirts made that say,
Kim,
yeah, Kim.
Can you make the law firm of three? Can you make the
the law firm of three? Yeah.
I want a hoodie.
Schuler, Birch, and Dupree. It's just how it is. So
are you wrecking to a check?
Exactly.
Those dudes can really shoot. Like Dupree, Birch, and Schuler. I like the combination because Schuler he can score in a bunch of ways. Like, I think it really helped Robert Schuler as a freshman on varsity 2 years ago. Like, just that the little bit of time that he got on varsity, and he was the man in JV and freshman. Like, he was the guy. He was the leading scorer. And
he was even talked highly about last year by all his teammates, in such a positive way. I mean, and now he's a junior. I mean, for seniors and for juniors, upper class heavy, to talk about an underclassman the way they did last year, it's no surprise to me what you're seeing. Keep going. So
yeah, man. Rob, I'm telling you, man, Robert Schuler has been extremely pivotal for this team starting now. I did not realize like how well this lineup is with Jalen at the 1, Reese at the 2, Schuler at the 3, Kevin Jackett at the power forward, and Devin at your center. Like that they're just works too well. Yeah.
Shane, I wanted to ask you something. What's really interesting is we talked before the show that West has won these 2 games against Central and Karns by these large margins. It's going to get a little bit harder, obviously, against Catholic, and then you've got Bearden in a couple weeks. The first region game. But what's interesting is next year, Central and Karns are going to be region opponents. And I know that we lose 8 seniors. I respect that. But the way two pairs talking, this team isn't going anywhere next year. Yeah, we lose 8 seniors, but you've got some guys in the sophomore and junior class that are going to make their mark next year. And, these Central and Karns teams are young, but man, I mean, next year, if this is going to be our region, I mean, West should really, really keep it going because
Yeah.
look at the region we're in now. The region we're now is a bloodbath. William Blunt, Maryville, Bearden, Farragut, Hardin Valley, sneaky. I mean, there's
It's
not an
gonna be
easy.
a little different next year
It's going to be a lot different, I think. So,
because
yeah.
we're not playing. Like who's in our region next year?
Okay, so you ready? Here's the region next year.
Yeah.
It's Karns, it's Campbell County, it's Central, Halls, and Powell. And we're the sixth team. 6 teams in the region.
They don't want to see us.
No.
Man, that's a bloodbath of a region, but
They don't want to see us in
No,
basketball.
because
the team I feel the worst for would be Campbell County.
yeah. Yep.
We just got too many athletes.
We do.
We got too many. And then, like, here's one thing I like what Coach Eggleston is great about. He allows his assistant coaches to coach what they coach best.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the type of player Tyrone Patterson was at West. He could he could do a little bit of everything. Look at the way Kevin Jack is playing this year.
Oh my God, he's transformed his body, man, and shout out to him, man. I mean, not that he was out of shape last year, but this is a guy that is looking like he doesn't get tired. He's fresh out there, and now he was a block machine last year. How he times his jumps perfect, and now, I mean, you got a serious problem with Kevin Jack, yeah, and Devin. I mean, I
feel like Reese really knows he's one of the better players in the city as well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Reese has that confidence. He's one of the better guards, and in the backcourt with him and Jalen, and when they're on, it's a long night. It is a long night because you know what you're gonna get from Devin.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It's the guard play from those guys, and then I love the way this bench is. When you see it tomorrow, I think it's going to be different. But I think it's going to be a little different tomorrow because Juwan Smith is a very young and up and coming coach, and he's got the support of Catholic. Like, shout out to Pat Walden, all the people over there at Catholic, great people. Got to announce a few times over there in my announcing career, but this Catholic team, they're gonna be a problem to play against. Like they're gonna be a problem, but I think we jump on them early, and we control the tempo. If we can control the tempo of this game, then I don't think there's a chance they come close.
Last year's game was very close when it was played at Catholic. I think it was a margin of 2 points was the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that this West team is on, we talked about the Maryville Revenge Tour, Shane. I think this West team is on their own revenge tour, and they're focused, and I think they want to, I mean, with all due respect, they want to beat teams. I don't think it's just about winning. They want you to know, hey, we're such and such. Welcome to the court. This is our court, whether it has the W in the middle or it's somebody else's, and we run this thing. And that's the mentality that is championship right there.
So I've got the schedule pulled up, and I'm not sure if this is normal, but I know you got all the tournaments around Christmas. Mm-hmm. When's the last time y'all saw a region game played before the Christmas tournaments?
It's the stupidest thing, honestly, Shane, that they've been doing the last couple of years. For example, we had to play Farragut. No, maybe it was it Bearden 2-pair? I think we played Bearden last year at the Doghouse before the Christmas tournament, and we ended up winning. It was the first time West had won in years at Bearden High School. Honestly, that team.
That Battle of Knoxville, is that what it is? Where
oh, that's going to be amazing. Yeah, that's going to be
big. We got Austin East on the 13th, Fulton on the 14th, neutral site game.
Yes.
The 17th, you're at Bearden. Then you go to the Heritage Christmas Tournament,
which we won last year. Yep.
Revere County Christmas Tournament right after that. Then you've got 2 more non-region games. You'll play Austin East again on January 8th. Then you go in regional play starting January 14th. It's just weird to have the bearding game before the break, all those tournaments, and then everything else after that's regional play once you get to the 14th of January.
Yeah, and then listen to this, guys. Not that I want it to happen again, but for goodness sakes, look at that brutal schedule that we got to face. It's a schedule that gets you ready for the bloodbath of a region, but on top of that, there could be the snowmageddon again that delayed games. I mean, there's no guarantees that we don't get snow that messes up the schedule. So in
Man,
theory,
we
that
hope
is
not.
going to be the schedule. But my goodness, after last year, that's the thing that could derail these really high-powered
That was
teams.
like the last three. That was what the last week of the last 2 weeks of the season that we were dealing with that. So like 3 games got moved around.
We had to play 8 games in 13 days. It was insane of how they had to do it. And it was amazing West did as well as they did. We had some injuries there at the end and we were so beat the hell out of that. That's why the tournament didn't go the way we really wanted it to, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we just that lost the beard and
that
then
call,
it just,
yeah. I mean that wheels fell off on that one. So yeah, I mean,
and now it's like I feel like they are on a rampage because like
I believe
Reese is trying to be one of those. He wants to be the first class to win state. Like
yeah.
if they're the first class to do it, I think that they got the chance to do it with what they bring back, and then the guys off this bench. I don't know what it is, man, but
I hope
I
that
am
you
a
get a
fan.
ring too, Pair. If anybody deserves a ring, it's you, man. Honestly, I hope they not only bring that big gold ball back, but I want a ring on that finger, and that way we can take a picture. The picture that you took of me and Coach Gone is now hung up in my office, by the way, just to let you know when we're
Oh
showing all our
man,
rings and
if
everything.
we,
I
you know
want a
what,
picture like that of you and me.
I would
So
want, I would pray that I could get a ring, man. That would be dope. That'd be
yeah, no,
really
we're
dope.
gonna find a way to get you a ring. It'd be a perfect birthday present for us. Honestly, it really
Oh
would. So
man,
in March. So yeah.
if I got a ring, oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do with myself if I got a ring. I'd wear it every day.
Hey, Running
I'd
Rebels,
wear it
you
every
want to
day.
get the March babies? You want to get the 2 March babies in the room right now? A nice birthday present. Win state, baby. Win state. That's what I want.
Man,
That's what I want for my birthday.
I would
That's what I
cry to
want
get a
for my birthday.
ring, man. If they got a ring, hey,
Oh.
look, y'all. I'm telling y'all right now. Look, Wes, I need y'all to get me this. I need y'all to win a state, man. Give me a ring,
Because you
man.
love jewelry. The Shaq commercial. You love jewelry.
Man,
Yeah, for sure.
I would love a ring. That'd be cool. That'd be
Yeah,
really cool. I look at that ring ceremony, man, and like that is pretty cool to be a part of. Like we were a part of a ring ceremony. Like
yep.
it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I plan to be at the football banquet whenever that is. Just because I want to cover that and finish this team the correct way. For what their accomplishments. With the region championship and all district, all region kids, and we'll announce that as those teams are announced. And so forth. But
Mm-hmm.
real quick before we move on to college football, I do want to give a shout out to the girls team. I know that they're still looking for that first
They
win.
fight.
But man,
They
you
fight.
fight, guys, and keep going. It's going to happen. You went up against a great team. The improvement is there. I see it. So please, whatever you guys do, do not give up. Shout out to Coach Graves and Coach Tate. I mean, you guys, the staff, everybody's doing
Jade
their thing. I
Mullins.
look
Shout out to
forward.
Coach Mullins.
Yep, yep. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night as well. I might get there a little bit late because I'm coming from work, but shout out to you guys for sure. Honestly, so yeah. One real quick before we go to college football, I just want to just mention this: the ACC is supposed to be a basketball conference, and they have been flat out destroyed by the SEC in this this ACC SEC thing. I think the ACC should have just stuck with the Big Ten.
Duke is trying to fight. Duke is fighting their tail off.
Are they?
The only ACC team that won was Clemson.
Jesus, I mean they were terrible.
Clemson and Duke is fighting for their lives right now.
Yeah, and let me ask you this: I told you I thought Auburn would. I thought Auburn would run them off the court. So, but what about Alabama, North Carolina? I missed it. Who won that game earlier?
Alabama beat the brakes off North Carolina.
Where was that game at? Alabama or Chapel Hill?
North Carolina.
Yikes. Okay.
How about
Yikes.
Tennessee against Syracuse?
Oh, man, dude.
Chaz Lanier.
Lanier, man, I'm telling you, this is a serious problem for teams. And I'm glad he's on the Tennessee side and not, those are guys that usually do that to Tennessee. No, it's nice to have him, and I hope he just balls the rest of the year, honestly. First undefeated start for the Vols in a while now in basketball. I want to throw that out there, so for sure.
Georgia won, Arkansas won, Missouri won, Tennessee won, South Carolina won, Oklahoma won, A&M won, Ole Miss won, LSU won. Somebody didn't hold up their part of the deal. That team that's from up north that wears blue.
Yeah, they just bought their hype too much, man. That's the problem. So, yeah.
Man, North Carolina is so bad this year, man.
They should have lost to Dayton. I mean, I still don't know how that happened or whatever. But Duke, though. I mean, I'm really surprised that they're even up. I'm looking at the score now and so forth. Don't be surprised if Auburn goes and wins that game. So, but I'll tell you this: I'll give Duke credit for something, man. The fact that they played the schedule that they played to play Kentucky, Arizona on the road. Kansas in a neutral site game, and now Auburn in the Big Ten, and then they play or the SEC, and then they got Illinois in January in the middle of their ACC schedule. So I mean, I like it when teams play like good matchups, or something, and don't shy away from competition. It makes already college basketball's behind the 8 ball fighting against college football, pro football, basketball. So I mean, it's kind of hard for them to make their mark now. And the thing is that unfortunately they get that rep. Oh, nobody cares until March. I've always liked it. I mean, when there's nothing really going on in December, I'll watch some of them matchups. Come on now. So shoot. And this Tennessee basketball team is fun to watch. So definitely give them the support, guys. They need it. I mean, the job Rick Barnes has done, damn, man. So, yeah.
He's the, I'll say he's the active coaches right now. He's top 3.
Listen, Larry Frank is. Did you see that? He's a huge North Carolina fan, and even he says they're trash, man. That's
look
hard.
so bad.
That's
they look
hard
bad
for him,
tonight.
man.
They look so bad tonight. Like, I don't know. It wasn't enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. They've got to do something at this point because, here's the problem. The fact is that with the transfer portal, you should never really fall that off. Maybe you don't get the big time recruits, but you've got to be. And with the money that they have for the basketball and the boosters, they should be able to sign whoever they want, man. That's what I'm getting at right there. So, but,
North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how are you not getting the players?
I don't get it, man. I don't get it at all.
Are these NBA players just not donating to the program anymore? Like,
I hate to say it, they really haven't had many star NBA players as of late. That's the other problem.
You think about the old school guys who still bleed
the last All-Star from North Carolina.
Fuck. Oh my God. Let me give me a second. Give me a second. I know this.
In the chat box.
I can picture it.
In the chat box. Who is the last NBA All-Star
for North Carolina?
From North Carolina.
I can picture him. I can see his face. I was going to say, I don't think it's McCants. No. Was it, oh God, what was his name? He played on that 2009 national championship team, I thought.
Not Hansborough. He never was an All-Star.
Was Harrison Barnes an All-Star? Harrison Barnes
has never been an All-Star.
Never been an All-Star. Okay.
Sean May has never been an All-Star.
No, it's not Sean May. I knew it wasn't Sean May.
Brendan Wright?
Brendan Wright?
He never was an All-Star.
Jesus. Okay. Point guard that was on that team. Raymond Felton? Ty Lawson.
Cole Anthony?
No, Raymond Anthony? Or no, Raymond Felton.
Michael Jordan is not the answer, but funny.
Vince Carter. Vince Carter.
It's either Vince Carter or Antoine Jameson.
Jesus Christ! And they graduated in '98 or whatever. Are you kidding me?
Think about the All-Star games.
Oh my gosh!
Think of every All-Star game.
Yeah.
Think of how many North Carolina players have been in it more than Duke players.
Not lately.
Since
but
exactly
yeah.
that. So you used to have Rasheed Wallace.
Yes.
He
Jerry
made how many?
Stackhouse. You'd have Stackhouse. Yes.
See what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
But see how early that was.
Uh-huh. So somewhere along the lines, it flipped over. Well, and I know that for like Duke, got a lot of them from Kyrie Irving and a couple of those guys or
Jason
whatever.
Tatum,
Jason Tatum,
Brandon Ingram's got an
Brandon
All-Star.
Ingram.
What about Antoine Jameson or Rasheed?
I said those, yeah.
Yeah.
Stackhouse.
Yeah. So yeah.
So those are the guys that did make.
Wow. Yeah, Zion did make one. He did. He technically did
Make
make
two.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
and here's the other thing too. If Paulo Banchero doesn't get hurt, I mean,
Paulo's made one.
Paulo's already made one. And here's the other thing too. If Paulo hadn't gotten hurt, the Magic were looking really good. I mean, he's a beast. That guy. He had 50 points or something in a game, or
when you look at the North Carolina tree on All Stars, you got to go back to Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace,
Antoine and Vince.
Antoine Jameson and Vince.
Yeah.
Harrison Barnes never made an All-Star game. Ty Lawson never made an All-Star game. Cole Anthony hasn't made an All-Star game. Kobe White hasn't made an All-Star game.
No.
It's a lot of North Carolina guys.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the fact that you were a good college player, maybe got a ship and so forth, and were kind of a journeyman in the NBA. But it is true that they don't have that brand guy that, that really has been the torchbearer for them, to be honest with you.
You know what? Kobe White could be the next All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why. He's shooting a hell of a basketball. He's shooting a very high percentage, 3-point percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I'll agree with that. Now, Kobe White may break the streak. He may be the guy that's going to be an All-Star for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because even you look at schools like UCLA, they've had it like Zach LaVine.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Love. Yeah.
Kevin Love.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've had a couple of guys. Yeah.
Drew Holiday.
Kansas has too. Kansas has as well, with Joel Embiid, and so forth like that, because he was technically there.
Andrew Wiggins got one.
So yeah. I mean, that's interesting. So yeah,
very interesting.
It is interesting, and yeah. I mean, well, hey, guess what? Tennessee's going to get one with Dalton Connect. So there we go. So very soon.
I'm gonna say this.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Is it wrong for me to say that Dalton Connect should really be the second option on this team?
No. If you can play, you can play. Sorry, you can play. He's got many years ahead of him. So
he will be the face of that franchise.
I'm not going. This stretch for LeBron is probably the one time I can see him having a struggle right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really sad when it takes year 22 for you see the struggles lately where he's been shooting. He'll break out of it because it's LeBron. He's one of the greatest to ever even touch a basketball.
Father Time gets us all. The fact that this guy is playing in his 22nd year, Jesus criminies, and love him or hate him, you're never going to see another guy play 22 years. I just don't see it. I just don't. I mean, but yeah, I mean, honestly, you just don't.
Yeah.
So.
You'll never see that again. Yeah. Never. We will never see that ever.
Now that's something interesting. Ivory Lotta for the women have more professional success than the last few. Talk about UNC women's basketball, by the way. That's something right there. So yeah. So hey, his trash ass son rubbed off on him. Yeah, maybe he exerted too much energy and transferred it over there, Larry. God, That's funny as hell. So shoot.
But now it's like I
yeah.
be thinking sometimes like I feel like he not holding the franchise back, but they really can't do anything because if AD is supposed to be the best player, then we don't need LeBron taking this many shots.
Mm-mm.
If it's supposed to be AD's team.
Exactly. And
Because
there's just still
LeBron
not
is just,
trust there. There's just not trust there. So
you know what I mean? Like,
Just think how much a salary cap bill opens up once LeBron steps away.
yeah. And one thing I
LeBron
can
can't
say,
command a lot of
Redick
money
can
though.
coach. Listen, love or hate JJ Redick, he has shown he can coach, by the way, and he's having to
Yeah.
manage this personality. And he did draft Dalton Connect. The Heat's wonderful pick of Kyle LL or whatever his name is just got shipped down to the D League. You know,
Sioux Falls.
that's your great pick right there that you
And,
had.
and
And Bam's still playing center.
but he is playing with my guy Brandon Childress, who played at Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'd rather see him come up.
Randolph Childress' son, who's
And he could ball. He could ball. Brandon
oh
could ball.
dude,
So yeah.
Brandon Childress oversees highlights. People, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Y'all need to check out Brandon Childress overseas highlights.
Yeah,
you want to talk about a bucket? This dude is a bucket.
Yep.
A walking bucket.
And I hope that the Heat call him up because he could definitely help them out. He really could.
Oh man, definitely good. I would love to see him in Miami.
Yeah, for sure. So, want to finish out the show with the college football playoffs. I know Larry Frank's very passionate about it. Listen, this committee. We knew that there was always going to be somebody left out. Miami left one on the table there on Saturday, left a couple out there. But here's the thing that I really do have to say. This is not Nick Saban, Alabama that the playoffs is getting, guys. This is the Alabama that only scored 3 measly points against Oklahoma, who I think LSU just scored again on, if I remember correctly, of what I watched Saturday. But I'm just saying that if Alabama goes to Notre Dame and lays another egg in the cold, I am just going to be like, you wanted the name, but you're not getting the name. That's all you're getting. You're not getting the substance that you've been used to the last couple of years. That is just my thoughts on it. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Listen, Miami should have handled their business. I should be on my way to Charlotte Saturday night. I am not. But the sad part about it is that's why you never leave it up to anybody else to handle your business. You handle your own. However, though, I just feel that there are some teams that are going to be in this thing that realistically you have them play a different schedule. Shane, back me up on this. Are they even in this? Are we like if Indiana played, the schedule of like a Georgia or of Tennessee even? What is their record right now? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
You don't even see them in here. I mean, I still don't get how Alabama's in here at all. Honestly, I don't really get how Indiana's in there after they got trumped by Ohio State.
Why didn't Ohio State fall further? They lost to a terrible Michigan team. $30 million NIL, Shane, and 2-pair, and you could only muster that against Michigan at home on senior day, and you let them plant the flag. And that fight was hilarious, but keep going.
I think bracket-wise, that should be flipped with Tennessee and Ohio State. Tennessee should be at least 8. I mean, we're ranked what? We're number 6 in the AP.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still so many flaws with this bracket and the committee. You cannot tell me a 3-loss Alabama team is better than Miami. I think Miami should be in there.
I believe that.
Especially after you put up 3 points against Oklahoma. 3.
Yeah. Because can I put it to you like this? Miami wasn't going to make noise in the playoff, but you still got to have a Cam Ward in that offense out there. They're good for 20-something or 30-something points. Their defense will allow 30 or 40 as well. But nobody wants to watch a snooze fest between Notre Dame and Alabama. I mean, the names is all that it is for people that loved football in the 40s and 50s.
That's just going to be your Alabama's got the. I think Alabama beats Notre Dame easily. Yeah. But Alabama's got an easier path to the national championship. They go play. If they win that game, they go play SMU.
Yeah, yeah. Larry's
SMU is not holding a candlestick to freaking an SEC team. Period. I don't care who you are.
No. Yeah, and Larry's got a point there. You lose to OU. You lose to OU and only drop 6 spots to 13. You beat Mercer and you rise 2 spots to 11. He's got a point there. He's got a huge point there. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I like I said. Well, here's the other thing too. What I didn't like last night, honestly, guys, is what the committee chair guy said. He said that this is what we have in here. The only thing that's going to change is the teams that are in the championship. Now, here's my question. If Texas beats Georgia, okay, and Georgia's a 3-loss team, it will then be a 3-loss team. Then my question is this: does Georgia get in before Alabama, or do you put Alabama in because they won that head-to-head matchup that seems like forever ago? I mean, because I think if those two teams played now, even in Alabama, I think Georgia wins by 3 touchdowns.
I think Georgia wins too. I think Georgia's the best team in college football.
Yeah.
I know it's weird to say that because Georgia's lost 2 games.
Mm-hmm. They're still Georgia. They're still
the
Georgia.
way Georgia played. The way Georgia played us. The way Georgia played us at third place, we got shut out. Ward Manuel is Michigan's athletic director. I still think they're going to put it in a way where if Tennessee were to beat Ohio State, they would have to play another Big Ten team right away in Oregon. They would have to travel to Ohio State in Oregon. It's not fair.
I've got one better. I got one better for you guys. Hear me out on this one real quick. How ridiculous is it that Ohio State would even get a host a home game when, unlike Tennessee's undefeated at home. Tennessee's 2 losses were on the road at Georgia, and whatever happened in Arkansas happened in Arkansas. But Ohio State's 2 biggest games happened at home and on the road, and they laid an egg in both. And if Penn State had any type of a quarterback, Penn State would have won that game as well in Happy Valley. I'm just saying
they lost to Michigan as a
20-something point favorite. They were a 24-point favorite. Yes. That's despicable. And then the only fight they had was because they were going to plant the flag in the middle of the field. The hell out of here with that. Honestly, you shouldn't host shit. You should be on the road. I don't give a damn what your name is.
They fought more after the game than they did during the game.
They had $30 million invested in that offense. Chip Kelly stealing him away from UCLA, and that's the best you could come up with, man. I mean, you don't deserve shit.
I still just don't get I still get how a 3-loss Bama team is in there over a 2-loss Miami. Like it just blows my mind. Like
it does. Look at that
Oklahoma game should have knocked Alabama completely out of contention altogether.
Preach. I mean, honestly, realistically, again, you're not getting Nick Saban. I can understand what happened last year. It wasn't right what was done to Florida State. But here's the other thing, too. You put Alabama in there, and Alabama lost to Michigan. My question is this. My question is this. If Florida State had been healthy with Jordan Travis, does Florida State lose to Michigan in the Rose Bowl? I'm just saying. Because you wanted Alabama in there so bad because Florida State was pedestrian. They didn't have their quarterback, their star. But your Alabama team didn't win either, SEC, honestly.
I don't like the fact that I don't feel like how does Alabama lose to Oklahoma at 3 losses? They lose to a Vanderbilt team. They lose to a Tennessee team.
I mean, Tennessee's the only team that's ranked that they lost to.
Yes.
And also,
Nobody else is even in there. And you're telling me it's like, oh, well, what, those were good games? I mean,
Here's something worse for you guys. Here's something worse for you guys. And I'm leaving my Miami bias out of this. Okay. But here's something else for you guys to think about. Miami lost by a total of 8 points between the loss to Georgia Tech and the loss to Syracuse. Oklahoma beat Alabama by worse than that margin between two teams. And I think that Georgia Tech and Syracuse could both beat Oklahoma. I believe that, especially with how Georgia Tech played against Georgia the other night. They, honestly. So that's the other thing too. I really believe if Georgia Tech had beaten Georgia the other night, then Georgia would have had no choice but to win the SEC title game. I think Miami gets in because even with the loss of Syracuse, that Georgia Tech loss ain't looking so bad because Georgia Tech went on the road and won.
Does that if Georgia lost to Georgia Tech?
If Georgia Tech beats Georgia, here's how shit should have played out. Georgia Tech beats Georgia, right? Then the loss of that Miami versus Syracuse, it doesn't look bad at all because Georgia Tech took Georgia 8 overtimes.
Exactly. Yeah. Larry even says Alabama barely beat a 5-7 Auburn team. Preach. He actually agrees with me that FSU does beat Michigan when they play last year. If Jordan Travis is healthy, I believe that.
If Jordan Travis is healthy and all those guys play, but yeah, Wardy Emmanuel.
Looks like King Hippo. He said he looks like King Hippo and King Kong Bundy's love child. That's what he was saying to me or whatever. It was so funny.
He does.
So,
he kind of reminds me of King Hippo from Mike Tyson Punch Out. But no, Ward Emanuel was actually the athletic director of Michigan.
Yeah.
Well known fact.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Okay. Now here's the other thing too. When you look at the matchups, okay, I mean, again, I think that Ohio State should be coming to Neyland Stadium. There's no doubt about that. You've got an Alabama going to Notre Dame because Notre Dame can't get any higher than the 5 or 6 seed. I think another matchup was Penn State and Indiana, who didn't play or what have you, and then the other one was going to be Arizona State against they believed Texas because or Georgia. It would be Georgia because right now Texas is the highest ranked SEC team. They haven't played yet, but what I'm getting at is how can you not though put a Miami in there with a Heisman Trophy candidate and an exciting offense? I mean, don't you want ratings? Don't you want people to tune in? Because without it, I mean, that Notre Dame Alabama game doesn't appeal to me at all. It's just to the name teams. That's it. I mean, you make that William and Mary against Tulane.
Alabama shouldn't be. Alabama's a 3-loss team.
Yeah.
Like, how are we saying a 3-loss team deserves it? You know what I mean?
They're a 3-loss team. I mean, it's the same. It's the Alabama bias without Saban there.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're a terrible Alabama team. They have no running game. Their defense really can't stop a cold, and it's really just the Jalen Milroe show. And I'm sorry, he ain't Cam Ward. He ain't.
Also, I don't get how Notre Dame is even in here. Like, I'm looking at their schedule right now. You played 1, 2.
USC almost beat them, and USC's a terrible team.
4 of your teams are ranked, and nobody's in the top 15. Take that.
And you lost to Northern Illinois, who didn't even win the MAC this year. You didn't. So,
I mean, they played Texas A&M, Northern Illinois, Purdue, Miami, Ohio, Louisville, Stanford, Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State, Virginia, Army, and USC. Yeah, you're 11-1, but who did you actually play?
Can I also say this? They didn't play the Georgia Tech team with Haynes King either. Miami and Georgia had to play that Georgia Tech. They had to play the freshman who shit himself in South Bend on the road for his first start. I know a lot of freshmen that would have done that. So, but Haynes King, Notre Dame didn't get to play Haynes King and that Georgia Tech team. They didn't.
I don't think Notre Dame would be allowed to even compete for this solely because they aren't even in a conference. I don't even think it's you can't be independent and still expect a spot in there. And it's Notre Dame. and you're getting there because of the name, just like they're ranked every year because of their name. But shit, like, who's playing? Like,
they didn't play nobody.
This was a cupcake schedule.
Yeah, they didn't play nobody. And here's the other thing too. I like what Larry says there. Ward Manuel, King Kong Bundy's looking ass talked about Miami's losses, but sure didn't put an emphasis on Bama's losses. I'll go a step further, Larry, that also needs to be talked about, and you and me talked about it. Props to Reese Davis, who's an Alabama grad. Even asked him the question, why did you put them in over that? He asked that. That's an Alabama guy, I mean, it's crazy to me. It's absolutely insane.
But what I like, Reese hit him with the interrogating question that he has to ask.
Yeah.
And he has an answer.
Yep. He didn't let him off the hook, and I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't. But to also say that Saturday's games have no meaning, I mean, that's a little, no, there needs to be some meanings because here's the thing.
Boise State has to beat UNLV 2 times.
Yeah. I mean,
they got to beat them.
Exactly. And, yes, the 5 highest conference teams need to get in. But, guys, realistically, Arizona State got in as a technicality. If they take care of business on Saturday, we all know it should be Colorado or BYU. And that's who we were talking about. They messed up, But the thing is it's like, I know you got to pick the champions, but I almost feel that your at-large bids right now are based off of records and not the eye test of everything. I mean, I would look at an Indiana and be like, could they really survive Miami's schedule? Could they survive Colorado's schedule? I mean, Indiana got the luck of not having to play Penn State and Oregon this year. They did.
Right.
And why is Ohio State still even being talked about? They're not even in the Big Ten championship game. Why are we talking about them? Name me their biggest win other than the Penn State game. Realistically,
the only games that have any truce, and you got 3 games that have a substantial impact this weekend: Texas, Georgia, Oregon, Penn State, and SMU, Clemson. What if Clemson beats SMU?
It's not entirely impossible. Clemson's been so Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, it could happen. And Bama's out. And then Bama's out, like what Larry
Oregon
said.
Penn State could switch spots because they're 1 and 3. They could switch where they fall in the rankings. And I don't know what you do with Georgia if Texas wins.
I think you know what? Can I tell you this? I would almost love to see the chaos just so they have to answer that there's a reason we tune in on Sunday, because here's the thing. What's really stupid about that, ESPN has banked on that playoff selection thing when it was just 4 and everybody sat around and, it was a Sunday thing. You're kind of, and the thing is this son of a bitch got on there and said, oh, well, these games just have no bearing in me. Then you just fucked ESPN and anybody that wants to watch to see if maybe their team might get in, I mean, the ACC commissioner, not that, where were you at all year? You were like, how did you not let Miami in? You should have been politicking for them all year long. And now you speak up? Like, come on, dude. Like, what did you expect?
Miami's going to get in, though.
You think so? You still think they're going to get in? I don't know if they will. I mean, I'd love to see them in there. I really do. But
it would take Clemson.
If Clemson beats SMU,
so you think, like, in your opinion, Clemson beats SMU, Clemson takes the 3rd or 4th spot, right, as the conference champion or whatever like that, and they get the bye. But they would put Miami in because of Miami's name compared to SMU.
Yep.
I could see that.
I think Georgia sees their way out. Or
no, Georgia's beating Texas. There's no way there's no way Texas loses to Georgia in Atlanta. No way.
Texas, I think Texas beats Georgia, but Georgia would force Alabama out and Miami in.
You think Texas can beat Georgia in Atlanta?
I just want to see it.
I just feel like Georgia's a better team.
After what Georgia Tech did to Georgia, I think Texas can do it.
Larry, I want Larry in on this because it's technically Rebels After Dark a little bit. what about the 3 Texas fans? Did anybody see it?
Oh,
Did anybody miss? They need to win for that. That is the eye right there. I give that a 10. A 10. A 10. My buddy who hates even football, I showed him that picture. He goes, hook 'em horns. He didn't know nothing about football, and he said hook 'em horns when I sent him
He
that
went like
picture.
that.
He
He said
has
hook
no
'em on.
knowledge of college football, and he loved the picture, honestly. So good. So, yeah.
Hey, puppies.
Puppies. So, oh, my
those,
God.
those 3 motorboats real quick.
They've replaced the FSU Cowgirls, Jen Sturger and all of them from years ago when Brent Musburger was salivating that Labor Day
Hey.
night. And one of them became Rusev's wife, Lana, in WWE. So the FSU Cowgirls.
Nothing was greater. Nothing was greater
Jen
than the
Sturger.
U.S. women's volleyball team this summer.
Yeah, they were good too. That was my heart still hurt that they didn't take home the gold, man.
They
Honestly,
took home the gold.
damn right they should have. So I love this. Larry called it. The only way Miami gets in if the outrage forces Jelly Bean and he gets intimidated by the backlash. Maybe. I'll take it. I'll take it. So shoot. Yeah.
I think Miami gets in.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean,
I think
like I
Miami
said,
gets in.
I'm gonna watch these games this week. But like I said, Texas, I mean, maybe they do it, maybe they don't. I don't know. I mean, here's the other thing too: is Beck going to show up? Because God, he's played some terrible games this year for Georgia. I mean, he really has not been what they've been used to at the quarterback position. That's been very steady for them. So yeah, but
Their running game hasn't been
yeah, he
what
did.
it normally is.
Yeah, he did. Bevo, Bevo. Oh my goodness. So yeah. Dude, fun show. Fun. I know we went over a little bit and so forth, but I'll say this much: Tennessee should host Ohio State. I think those 2 teams should flip. I really. And you know what? Can I also say this? Wouldn't it be very interesting? Oh, real quick. We all agree Oregon's going to kick Penn State's ass in the Big Ten championship.
I hope Penn State wins, but they won't.
Really, you want Penn State to win or what have you? So okay,
Because
gotcha.
Penn State never wins on the big stage ever.
Well, you have a point, Two-Pair. It's not Ohio State. They usually win these games. If it's not Ohio State and Michigan, so I think it's interesting, that Penn State's kind of like the torchbearer for the old Big Ten at this point. So yeah, but
Yeah, the old Big Ten.
Larry thinks Oregon wins easy. I mean, yeah, I could see Oregon. It depends how the Big Ten refs are going to call that game, but on paper, Oregon's got an offense and Penn State's got a defense. But I think Oregon's defense is just good enough to hold Penn State's lack of offense or whatever. I think I could be wrong. So yeah, but so yeah. Oh man, great show, guys! Great show. I mean, so much to talk about. It's so much fun. I'm going to look forward to tomorrow night at the West game, watching them and Catholic throw down and so forth. I got to hit up Romero to make sure I can get in and so forth, obviously. But yeah, so. But
Hey, you should be good. Just some rebels with a cause at the door.
Rebels with a cause, baby. We here, so shoot. So, but
rebels with a cause, they just go.
There you go. Come on in. Come on in, Stallion. Come on in, Stallion. Royalty, baby. So, for sure. Listen, that's all I got. Shane, parting words, and then Two-Pair close us out, baby.
Just real quick shout out to my buddy Kevin Gregg. He got some great news tonight. His daughter had a tumor removed from the back of her brain, not cancerous. Doctor got everything removed. All the prayers out to his family. So that's my shout out for tonight. And my closing statement is God works miracles, and really happy for his daughter. So,
amen. We need to hear some positive stuff that's not all sports. You know what I mean? To take us from this crazy world. So, but got to throw up that W. But Two-Pair, close us out as always, baby.
Hey man, big happy birthday to Corey Davidson, man.
Big happy
got
birthday.
to enjoy that with
Sorry,
him Saturday, man. Good to see everybody out. Definitely throw your dubs up for the, winners. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Please come out tomorrow against Catholic. It's going to be a great ball game. Great opportunity to watch two of the premier teams in the city. And, just thankful for another day to be above earth doing this show with two of my guys, man, from way back. So it's a definite honor. But yeah, Rebels with a cause, man. Love, peace, and chicken grease. And we up out of here. Throw your dubs up if you're a winner.
Go Rebels, baby.